welcome to Fantasy Football with the Dork and the Dude. He's the dork.
And he's the dude.
Yeah. All right, Dork. Shall we do a quick recap of Week 12?
Sure.
We don't have to go through our Dorks and Dudes or anything, but how'd you do with your bets?
My bets, I did my picks. I did okay. I was 8-5.
That's good
on all the games against the spread, and 5-0 on my best bets. That was Carolina plus 10.5, Tampa Bay -6, Chicago plus 3.5. I snuck in on that one.
Yeah, you did.
Baltimore Chargers over 51. Thank you for that late touchdown.
Yep.
And Philadelphia Rams over 49.
Okay, cool. On my picks, I went 7-8, but more importantly, on my gambling bets, I went 7-2.
Nice.
I had a really nice week gambling, Dork, and the pros are still not figuring this shit out. So I feel pretty lucky when I have a week like that.
Yeah.
And they get crushed.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's a tough week for them. I mean, these are all smart guys, but this is a tough thing we're working with here, you know?
Yeah, it is. And they've just got years of experience behind them where sometimes it leads them in the wrong direction.
Yeah. Oh, I agree.
They overthink it.
And then, you know, I mentioned the Bears game. They were down 2 scores. They big rally to get within or to tie it, and then
lost in
overtime, but just by 3. But then there's I was watching the Vegas-Denver game, and Vegas has time to take a timeout and do one play from the 1-inch line, but they just walked off. And they get a touchdown there, they cover, you know? So
they just called it a game?
Yeah. I was watching it. It looked like
they didn't run a play from the 1?
Yeah. It looks like the guy got in. I said, okay, call timeout, run one more play, you know, and they just kind of walked off.
Oh, man. That's what dysfunctional organizations do, Dorkster.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, let's start off Week 13. I'm going to do a quick waiver wire because it's pretty ugly out there. But if you're desperate, you got somebody hurt, quarterbacks, Geno,
yeah,
Tua,
yeah,
and a sleeper, Richardson. Richardson's going to have a huge game at some point, and who knows when the hell it'll be. But
also, it might not be his best week, but the guy I'm, repping today on my team, Caleb, is still out there in a lot of leagues.
Mm-hmm.
Tua, he threw for 4 touchdowns last week, right?
300 yards.
Yeah, Caleb over 300 yards and 2 TDs, and he's running a lot more since they switched OCs.
Yeah.
So
their offense is playing better for sure.
There are good quarterbacks out there.
Yeah.
And if you're in streaming mode or your guy has a tough matchup,
yeah.
I mean, Herbert's still out there in some leagues, right?
Yeah.
So
he had a rough fantasy game last night.
He did score a touchdown.
Yeah, he ran one in. That's the only thing that saved it from being a disaster. And, it just goes without saying, we're in Week 13. The odds are you're going to have to go with the people you got.
Yeah.
And but let's go running backs. McNichols for Washington. Eckler's out with a concussion, and Brian Robinson has an ankle injury. It looks like they both aren't going to play because Washington's out there bringing guys in off their fucking couch.
Yeah, and
guys like James Robinson.
You can, who are they playing? The Patriots. You can run on them.
Yeah. So McNichols, he knows the system. They're not going to sign a dude off the couch and give him 20 fucking carries.
Right.
So if you're desperate, there's a shot. Wide receiver, Turpin for Dallas.
Yeah, he's made some bang plays.
He's had a long touchdown, 2 returns. Now, you don't expect him to get any more returns, but you don't know.
You don't know.
And so if you're desperate, plug him in. And Calvin Austin III for Pittsburgh. He seems to be becoming more of Wilson's favorite guy to go to.
It seems, when we watch
and they're doubling Pickens.
Yeah. When I watch the Steelers, it seems like he's making a bang play every week.
Mm-hmm.
So that's a good one.
He's boom or bust, but that's where we are. Tight end Gesicki for Cincy coming off a bye. He was playing well going into the bye. Tight end is kind of a wasteland out there.
I'd throw Jonnu Smith in there if he's out there for Miami.
Oh, yeah, I picked him
That
up.
offense is looking good.
I picked him up last week and plugged his ass in, and he got me a touchdown.
Yes, he did. He's on fire. I think he might be this year's David Njoku.
He could be, yeah, where he comes on at the end of the season.
Comes on at the end, the tight end that just storms to the finish line.
I'll be playing him this week, except I got to plug in Taysom Hill off a bye.
Oh, against the Rams, and Taysom's a good play this week.
I think so. And then for your D, if you're not happy with your Ds, just start fucking streaming.
I know Dallas has had a tough year.
Yeah.
But they're playing the Giants this week.
Mm-hmm.
And the Giants have, I had
We'll
heard
get to
today.
that in Dorks and Dudes, man.
Okay, but they're out there as far as the waiver.
Yeah, they are, and they were huge last week. And the one thing that impressed me about Dallas in that game last week against Washington was they were still playing hard.
They were.
They haven't they're not tanking.
Right. And the Giants might be.
The Giants are.
They pissed off the whole roster by cutting Daniel Jones.
Yeah.
And
benching Drew Lock because they don't want to pay him because he has play percentage incentives.
Yep.
If you're that cheap, sell the fucking team, get out of football, and let someone come in who knows how to run football.
Exactly. There's a lot of...
If you can't afford to spend no fucking money, you're not going to do anything anyway in this league.
Right. And
they're a joke.
They are. So I would say as far as the waiver wire, defense and quarterback is where you can get some points by streaming and looking for matchups.
Definitely. Okay, that's all I have for the waiver wire. Why don't you hit me with some quarterback dudes, Dork?
Okay, he's been struggling lately, but if C.J. Stroud can't break out of it against Jacksonville, he ain't going to break out of it. So I have him down.
Yeah, I don't because he's been a dork.
Mm-hmm.
He's regressing. He's taking stupid sacks. Yeah, I can't make him a dude regardless of who he's playing.
Okay.
Remember I started saying about two weeks ago that the two biggest frauds in the league were the Houston Texans and the Atlanta Falcons? They're proving it on a weekly fucking basis.
Do you think they got a shot against Jacksonville?
I don't know. Jacksonville's coming off a bye. I guess there's a slight chance that Farrah could play.
Yeah.
I just don't like the spot for them, and I think they're spiraling down, the Texans. And in fact, if they had a one better team in that division, they'd lose the division. There's kind of a cinch for it because they're sleepwalking.
Yeah.
But I don't like that. Who else you got?
How about Russell Wilson against Cincinnati?
Yeah, I can see that. Cincinnati's D is terrible. Problem is, playmakers for Pittsburgh is pretty bereft.
Well, they got Kelvin Austin III.
Yeah.
It's going to depend on who Cincinnati can be had, though. So, again, this is a matchup thing. I think he's a good streamer.
The pros are all on Cincy this week.
Really?
Yep. Okay, I'll give you a couple. I got Sam Darnold against Arizona at home.
Okay, I could see that. Arizona's playing better, though.
They are.
Especially defensively.
Yeah.
And I'm having trouble buying into Darnold.
Right.
But he does keep putting up good numbers, and he's got some good weapons, and Hawkinson being back.
Yeah, and Hawkinson had over 100 yards last week.
Yep.
I got Herbert against Atlanta. Atlanta can't get any pressure. If they let Herbert stand back there, he'll pick their ass apart.
Okay, so I put down Herbert and Cousins because I think it's a potential shootout.
Okay, it's a bad spot for the Chargers coming off Monday night, having to travel to Atlanta and shit. Yeah. But teams are used to that.
Teams seem to handle it better than they have in the past.
Yeah. I think Herbert's this is a desperation game for the Chargers. They played their hearts out. They were kind of in that game.
Mm-hmm.
They had receivers dropping passes.
They did.
Quentin Johnson dropped what would have been probably an 85-yard touchdown.
Yeah.
So they just had some bad luck in that game. I expect them to bounce back. And then I got Baker versus Carolina.
Yeah, I got Baker. They still have the weak D. They're showing signs of life, which is nice finally.
They are.
For the Panthers, and Bryce Young may actually be competent.
That remains to be seen. Baker's going to torch him.
But I tend to agree. And I also put down Mahomes because
he's
got a good matchup.
I almost put him down too. He's got a great matchup.
It's still weird having him as a dude and not a perma dude, but
yeah,
that's where we are now with him.
I heard that. Okay, running back dudes.
My first one is Bucky.
Okay, I almost put Bucky on there, but I figured you would.
Yeah, okay. He's just getting a lot. Especially in PPR, he's a valuable back.
Yeah, he is.
He's catching a lot of passes. I think he's scored a touchdown each of the last 2 weeks.
He's getting in the end zone.
Rachaad
White's kind of disappeared.
Yep, that's just a guy to play.
Yeah,
he's an every week back.
And that Sean Tucker's getting more carries. So I think
Vultured one last week.
Yeah, I think they're phasing out White.
Could be.
Okay, I got Joe Mixon versus Jacksonville.
Joe Mixon.
I think Stroud is.
They're going to have to lean on him.
I think Stroud's looking like a clown, and so they'll lean on Mixon. Mixon had a bad week last week, but he's going to be a dude this week against Jacksonville. Their defense sucks.
Yeah.
Who else you got?
How about Ramondre?
I don't trust him.
A real bad game, but
I can't trust that dude.
He's got a good matchup against Washington.
Right.
Teams shred them on the ground. So I put him down. I think he's a good play.
Washington isn't playing New England.
Oh, did they play them last week? Who's playing? They're playing Tennessee.
Tennessee, who's got a pretty damn good defense.
No. Who's playing New England?
Well, let me look here. New England. Let's see.
Indy. They're at Indy. I like that matchup.
Yeah.
Okay. Sorry, I was on last week.
Yeah. Okay, that's all right. I got Kamara against the Rams.
Yeah, that's a good one.
In fact, I haven't played it yet, but I'm damn near ready to take New Orleans on the money line to win that fucking game. The Rams are collapsing.
I don't know that they're collapsing, but I think New Orleans is a good bet. I think it's a good spot for them.
Yep.
And I will probably be dropping $10 on that money line as well.
There you go. That's all I got.
Okay, how about in what could be a real bad Thanksgiving Day game, the two running backs, Tyrone Tracy and Rico Dowdle, because neither team can stop the run. So
true. Okay.
See, I had Dowdle last week, and what did he end up with? 19 carries, 86 yards, but no TDs.
Right. I'm worried about the Giants because they're.
Yeah.
You got Tracy down there. I don't know if the Giants will score a fucking touchdown.
They may not. We'll see. He's been a good back, and Dallas has been a sieve as far as running backs go. So
it's worth a shot.
Yeah. And finally, Tony Pollard. I got him again.
Okay, I almost put him down.
That's the one playing Washington, and I think he should be able to show up and go off.
Yeah.
And I like how Tennessee is trending.
I don't know if I have the balls, but I want to take Tennessee to win that game.
I'm thinking about it.
Because Washington, they've lost 3 in a row.
Mm-hmm.
They've lost 2 of their best running backs.
Yep.
If it wasn't for one bomb to McLaurin and a couple of runs by Daniels, they get hammered in that fucking game.
Yeah.
And so, yeah. Any more? That's all you got?
That's all I got.
Okay, let's go wide receiver. I'll take Calvin Ridley versus Washington.
Calvin Ridley?
Yep.
Okay.
Hey, watch where you're pointing that gun, Dork.
What? This one?
Yeah.
Good. You know who I got?
Bang, bang.
Against the Vikings, yes.
Come on. I had Bang Bang last week, and he was a dud. He was shooting blanks.
Yeah.
I don't like that one.
I think the Vikings are suddenly vulnerable to the pass. You saw what the Bears did to him last week.
Right.
I think Bang Bang's going to have a good game.
Yeah, I think Murray's going to be running for his freaking life.
Could be.
Okay, I got Pittman versus New England.
Oh, and by the way, I had Cortland Sutton as well.
Oh, that guy's almost a perma dude.
Yeah. That's who you mentioned earlier, right?
Mm-mm.
Who'd you mention?
I don't know.
Who was the first one you mentioned? Oh, Ridley.
Ridley.
Against Houston.
Against Houston.
Well, their safety's out, so...
no, against Washington. Ridley plays for Tennessee.
He doesn't play for Jeff. Boy, I'm getting confused.
Ridley plays for Tennessee, and he's playing Washington.
That's a good one, yeah. That's a good one. I have a hard time starting him, though, because he's so flaky.
Yeah, but he can boom.
He can boom. Anyways, I got Nico and Tank against...
Nico's a permanent dude.
Against Jacksonville.
Okay.
And I got my guy Ladd McConkey against Atlanta.
Okay. He looked pretty good. He was the only guy catching the
He's their
fucking ball.
best receiver right now.
Yeah, he is. The Chargers are going to be good in 2 or 3 years.
Yeah.
But they need a number one wide receiver.
They need that.
I don't know if they need to hit the free agent market or just draft a dude in the first round or whatever.
Yeah.
They need a guy.
And they could use a little help on D too.
Yeah, they could.
And finally, T. Higgins. I think that could be a shootout. Pittsburgh, Cincinnati. So
okay,
you love a shootout.
All right, tight ends.
Cade Otton.
I got him.
He's back to dude status against Carolina.
Yeah, he is. I got my boy Taysom Hill versus the Rams.
Yeah, I should have put him down. I didn't. But
he's been a frickin'
He's kind of a perma dude, though.
He's a perma dude.
Yeah, he just does.
But people aren't used to him being a perma dude, so that's why I keep throwing him out there.
Anyways, I got Freiermuth again. I'm seeing a shootout, so
okay.
Anyone in a shootout is good. And of course, it could be a AFC North 13-10 game. Who knows?
I'm thinking 13-10, 16-13.
Kelsey.
Okay.
Hunter Henry's got a good situation.
Okay.
Dalton Schultz as well. And then I put TJ Hawkinson. He's probably an immediate perma dude again.
Right.
But, he's just coming off of injury. So if you're not aware of him, he should have a good day against Zona.
He's pretty much a must start at this point.
Yep.
Okay, how about defenses, dudes?
Okay. Let me have a sip of this fine Northwest craft beer first.
Yeah, I think that's Worthy's IPA, one of their IPAs.
Oh, okay. Right on. Well,
I got them at Freddy's, $7.50 a 6-pack. So I grabbed a case.
That's what you do.
Yep.
Okay. I mentioned him earlier, and Dallas, I think, is a fun play this week.
Sure.
They're playing the Giants.
You'd have to have some balls.
They are coming off a big special teams week, and sometimes that, will go on for more than a week. And the Giants have, they
can't do shit.
We said it seems like they've kind of given up, and
the team's mutinying.
Yeah.
I could see that. I got Denver versus Cleveland.
Denver, yeah.
Denver's at home.
Got Jameis, the gunslinger they're going against.
Yep. And Denver's playing some damn good D.
Denver's playing great D, and I know Cleveland is showing some signs of life, but I just going to Denver. I don't like it for them.
No, this is the game where they crash and burn.
Yeah.
Who else you got?
Tampa Bay against Carolina.
I love that one.
Seattle against the Jets.
I like that.
That Witherspoon is starting to make some plays on defense.
Sean Witherspoon's awesome.
Yeah, and I also have Green Bay because Miami's going to be playing in about 20-degree weather.
Yeah, they're saying it'll feel like single digits.
Yeah. So
Green Bay's a good pick there.
I mean, I know they're talking tough. Tua's saying he's going to prove to people. But, until you do it.
Well, check this out. This game was one of Fez's bet ahead 1 week game. And he had Miami.
Yeah, he changed his mind.
He changed his mind. He changed his mind. And
I saw that.
I had bet Miami on Fez's. So I cashed out. It cost me like 50 cents.
Oh, okay.
But I cashed out of that too. I want no part of that game because I could see Miami surprise everybody because Green Bay is kind of a paper tiger.
Yeah.
And win that damn game. But I could also see everything going wrong for Miami and it's a disaster and Green Bay D goes off.
Yeah.
I got Washington versus Tennessee. Levis is a turnover machine.
He's been good, but yeah, he had 3 more turnovers this past weekend.
He's good for 2 every week.
And, well, he had a nice stretch before that, but one of them was a pick 6.
Yeah.
So, yeah, he's it's never a bad idea to play against a guy like that.
That's for damn sure. That's all I got.
That's all I got.
So let's go. Dorks.
Jared Goff.
I got him.
Darnold lit up the Bears pretty good this past week.
Yeah, he did.
Until then, the Bears have had a pretty good pass defense.
They did.
And I could see them running it.
Okay.
The Lions.
Yeah. Okay. But Goff's been unreal.
He has had some good games, yeah. He has had some down games as well.
Betting against him getting 2 or 3 touchdowns is a fool's errand.
Mm-hmm. I don't think he had any last week.
Yeah, but whenever he has a down game, he comes back and explodes.
He might.
He might wrap it. I got Joe Burrow versus Pittsburgh.
Burrow, really?
Yep.
He's lighting it up against everyone.
Yeah, I see Pittsburgh getting a lot of pressure and sacks on him. If they can somehow take Chase out of the game, he's going to have a problem.
That's tough, taking Chase out of the game. That dude's going off.
I know, but, this isn't for the faint of heart, Dork.
I know.
You got to stick your neck out sometimes.
That's what I did with Goff, and you did with Burrow. But
I had Goff too. I mean, that's kind of
we got to provide a counterpoint.
That's it. Who else you got?
I got both Tua and Jordan Love because I think that's another game where they're going to run.
Love's been a dork.
Yeah.
And Tua's looking better, but the weather is maybe a factor. Like I said, the pros account for the weather 1 or 2 points.
Yeah.
But when you got a team like Miami going up into, single-digit wind chill factor shit, I could see that. Anybody else?
Yeah. This guy.
Caleb?
The Lions.
Going to be a dork?
I think so.
I do too.
It just seems like a bad, the Lions are great on both sides of the ball.
Yeah, they are.
And I'm going to be watching it Thanksgiving
Although their
morning.
secondary is their weakest unit.
Yeah. But it could be a tough one for him.
Right.
At least,
What if he runs one in?
If he runs one in, well, there you go, I could see a lot of passes, maybe about 220 yards and no TDs.
Okay. I can't argue with that.
But he's
kind of been a dork all year.
He's had more dorkiness than dudiness.
Yeah, he has.
Yeah, but his last game was a definite dude game.
Yeah, it was. Okay, how about running back Dorks?
Let's stick with the Bears, DeAndre Swift.
Okay.
There will be no revenge against the Lions.
The Lions are pretty good against the run.
They are. That's where they're solid.
Yep.
I also got James Conner against the Vikings.
I like that.
Might be the best team against the run.
And Conner is wearing down, it looks like.
Yeah, he is. I'm seeing more Benson.
Yep.
And
Conner does kind of wear down towards the end of the year. He takes a lot of hits.
Who you got?
I got Bijan versus the Chargers. Dork.
Bijan, I think he's a perma dude.
No,
he's been.
Watch him.
Before the bye week, he was putting together some of the best weeks of any RB.
Yeah.
Not named Barkley or King Henry.
The Chargers will key on him.
Okay. We'll see.
Who else you got?
J.K. Dobbins, if he plays, he might not even
Looks
play.
like he's not going to play.
Yeah. I also have Najee.
Okay, I can see that.
He's had his struggles. What was he last week? got it down here because I
He was starting to trend up in the last couple of games. He's fallen off a cliff.
Yeah, 16 carries, 41 yards.
Yeah, that's ridiculous. That's 2 yards a carry down here.
Mm-hmm.
Okay, I can see that.
And then I got Chase Brown from Cincinnati because he's going against the Steelers.
Okay, they're hard to run on.
Yep.
Okay, that's all I got. How about wide receiver dorks?
First of all the Green Bay wide receivers.
Oh, I can see that.
I'm sort of tired of trying to guess which one's going to go off.
You and half the planet.
Yeah, half the fantasy world. So they're all going to be dorks today, and they'll let Josh Jacobs handle things, I think.
Who's tearing it up?
Yeah,
he's a perma dude.
So it's something's interesting. You know, a lot of, and myself included, said don't give the running backs the money because they're all replaceable.
Yep.
Well, look at who got the money: Henry, Barkley, and Jacobs.
And they're killing.
They're all going off. Yeah.
I was never one of those guys that said they're phasing out running backs for fantasy.
Yeah.
Because I've always been a running back dude. I usually grab the first 2 picks in a draft. Right. So I'm glad to see it.
Yeah.
And in fact,
I am too.
Henry and Barkley, I don't know if you remember or not, but a couple years ago, them and some other guys said, hey, what are we going to do here? They aren't paying us.
Yes. There was a big running back text group, and they were talking about what they could do.
That's what I'm talking
about. Even forming maybe a running backs union or something. It was stuff like that.
Sure.
And I'm just going to say no one works harder than running backs.
That's for damn sure.
They take the abuse.
They're more injury.
Backs.
They get hurt more.
Injury prone. The careers don't last long.
I hear you. They deserve the
dog. So, there should be some sort of... the NFL should do something for them. Yeah,
but, that's why we have collective bargaining.
Yep.
Okay, let's see here. Where were we? I got Zay Flowers versus Philadelphia. Dork.
Okay. Now, I had this cat as a dude last week, and he was Waddle.
Yeah, he was.
But I got him as a dork this week.
I can see that.
And again, it's just Miami in the cold. I'm gonna have to see it first before I.
And I think last week was a blip because Waddle's been terrible all year.
He has.
Okay, and then I've got George Pickens versus Cincinnati. Dork.
Really?
Yeah.
Okay, I'm calling that a shootout. So I'm gonna say no.
I'm actually think it's going to be an NFC North.
AFC North.
AFC North slobber knocker.
Okay, that might be fun, but I think they're going to light it up.
Okay. That's all I got.
How about Terry McLaurin against the Titans?
I can see that.
And Jamo Williamson against the Bears.
My boy Jamo?
Yeah.
I got to plug him in. My wide receivers are terrible. I got to hope that the guy gets a long one.
He might go off, and he's that Gabe Davis type.
And the Sun God's banged up, might not play.
He's questionable now. I am monitoring, yes.
So if the Sun God doesn't play, Jamo could go off because he'll get more targets. He's only averaging 4 or 5 targets a game.
Right.
But if he got 8 or 9, he's going to break one of them.
Yeah. Oh, yeah. He's a talent, that's for sure.
Okay, is that it?
That's all I got.
Tight end, Dorks.
Cole Kmet. Sorry, buddy.
Okay.
I mean, he's not much of a dude anyways, but he does have his moments, and
it's been a while.
He gets a lot of targets.
Sure. I got Hawkinson versus Arizona. That's the only thing they do on defense is play tight ends.
Tight ends. Well, okay. I think he's on a roll. I think he'll have a good game.
Okay.
Dalton Kincaid against the Niners.
All right.
And my last one, Zach Ertz.
Okay.
Against Tennessee.
I can see that. I got your boy Njoku versus Denver.
Okay.
Dork.
Yeah, I think so. I could agree with that.
Okay, how about Dork D's?
Detroit.
A lot of people got him as top 5 starts this week.
Really?
Yeah.
The Bears just aren't turning over the ball lately.
That's true, but on the other hand, worst case scenario, the sumbitches could get shut out.
They could. They always want a shutout.
And if Detroit gets up 14 and they have to abandon the running game, which is almost non-existent anyway,
yeah,
and Caleb throws 35 times, it's going to be trouble.
Yeah.
So I could see them getting a pick 6 or something off his ass. So I can't, as Hall and Oates say, I can't go for that.
Hall and Oates. Did you know that Hall had to get a restraining order against Oates? Did you hear that story?
I didn't, but it wouldn't surprise me because once he jettisoned Oates and kind of went solo, Oates hated him.
Oh, I know. It's kind of like...
Oates is getting, in theory, for a long time, they're half the fucking money.
Yeah.
And he's a session player at best.
Yeah.
You know?
Well, it's like Art Garfunkel coming out and ripping on Paul Simon. And
give me a break.
Like, come on. Simon made you.
Yeah, it's always the number 2 guy who's ripping on the number 1 guy because for whatever reason he doesn't get the dough he thinks he deserves.
Right.
All righty. Dork Tees, is that where we're at?
Maybe that'll be my fantasy team next year, Oates and Garfunkel.
There you go.
Okay, Dork
Garfunkel and Oates.
Yes. I got both Philadelphia and Baltimore. I think I just don't see them doing much.
I agree. I picked up Philly last week for their remaining schedule, but I probably won't play them this week.
Okay.
I got Minnesota versus Arizona. Arizona's going to put up points.
Okay, I think so. I agree.
And then I got Buffalo versus San Francisco.
Boom, that's my last one.
Even though Buffalo's defense has been getting better every week.
They have been.
And if San Francisco is in total collapse mode, it could get ugly.
Well,
especially if they have to start Brandon Allen.
Purdy threw without pain yesterday. Did I read that?
They'll give him a shot.
Yeah.
He's playing, I think.
I think so.
That's all I got.
That's all we got.
Shall we do our picks for week 13, Dork?
Let's do it.
Okay. And when we talk about our picks, we talk about gambling, and here's the philosophy you should have whenever you're gambling. It's strictly business. So don't bet your favorite team just because you want to. It's business, baby.
Unless you acknowledge, as I do when I bet, like I bet the White Sox, this year.
Sure.
Unless you say
150 to 1 long shot.
If they go off $5, but
that's pizza money.
Think about it.
I hear you.
And don't bet more than you can afford. And if you feel what's a problem? If it affects your budget, how much you're gambling, then that's a problem.
Definitely.
And 1-800-GAMBLER if that happens.
Thanks, Dork.
Okay.
And a lot of people also said that the gamblers who fail in the long run are the ones who chase losses.
Yeah.
And so they got their ass kicked on Thursday and the Sunday early games, and they double down on everything from that point on when they're not seeing clearly to begin with.
Right. And
I can see clearly now.
Take your losses like a big kid and realize that they happen and go get them next week.
That's it. I'm going to give my ATS trends through week 12. They're kind of like they were last week. These are the guys you want to play, and then I'll give you the ones you don't want to play, and I won't cover the dudes in the middle because it's a crapshoot.
Yep.
Number 1 cover, Detroit 9-2, Denver 9-3, Pittsburgh 8-3, Minnesota 7-3-1, Indy 8-4, Tampa Bay 7-4, Chargers 7-4, Buffalo 7-4, Arizona 7-4, Philly 7-4, and Washington 7-4-1. Those teams are safe to bet against the spread because they're consistent. The ones you don't want to play: Tennessee 2-9, Dallas 3-8, Giants 3-8, Jets 3-8, Cleveland 4-7, San Francisco 4-7. And then you got New England, Rams, Carolina, Vegas, all 4-7.
I'm going to say the bottom 2 did cover last week, Tennessee and Dallas. In fact, they won outright as big dogs. So
yeah, a broken clock's right twice a day.
That's true, but you just never know with these things.
I hear you. But anyway, those I always take that into consideration.
Oh, yeah. Yeah, you should.
Okay, so let's start off with the first one, Dorkster. Your Chicago Bears plus 10 versus Detroit. The number's 48.5.
I'm going to take the points with the Bears. I don't feel good about this game one way or the other.
Right.
But and I got the under, but that's a lot of points.
I'm taking Detroit because they covered 14 last week, and they've just been covering everything under the sun.
They have been, yeah.
That's why they're 9-2. Am I bucking that trend? No way. And I've got the over.
Okay.
It's indoors. I think Chicago's going to score points, so I like over 48.5.
So I see lots of running in this game from both teams. So
well, Chicago won't be able to run against Detroit.
They'll cook up something.
And Monty's a little banged up for Detroit, so no, I think they'll be airing it out. Next game, Giants plus 3.5 versus Dallas. Total 37.
I got Dallas covering the 3.5.
Me too.
And I'm going to take the under. I think
I got the under as well.
Unless Dallas has a few bang plays again, I just don't see a lot of scoring here.
And I don't know that I'm going to bet this. It's a stay away at this point. But if I was going to bet it, I'd take Dallas because the Giants have just given up.
And last week, as far as the under goes, they played the Giants played a weak defense in Tampa Bay. Tampa Bay put up 30 on them.
Yeah. And
they still wouldn't have covered the 37.5 that it is this week.
I know.
I don't think Dallas is going to put up 30 points 2 weeks in a row.
I don't either. And I see the Giants scoring maybe 10 max.
Yeah, I agree.
Okay, Miami plus 3.5 versus Green Bay. This is Thanksgiving Day. 47 is the number.
Green Bay in the under.
I got them too. Although I wouldn't be surprised, like I say, Miami won that
Miami's
game.
been pretty damn good.
And Green Bay
they showed up and said, hey, we can play in the cold.
And Green Bay's been throwing some stinkers out there.
They have been, but they've been pretty good on occasion too. So
yeah. Miami's game plan should be trying to stop Jacobs and make Love beat him.
It, yeah.
And right now I don't think he can. Okay, and then I've got the under.
I have under 47 as well.
Okay, Raiders plus 12 versus Kansas City. The total's 42.5.
I'm taking the points. I know Mahomes is talking about we got to get some blowouts.
Right.
But it's like Miami in the cold until they start doing it. This is a 2-year thing with them.
Yeah, it is.
So I'm going to take the points.
This is a stay away for me.
But yeah, it's a stay away, but make a pick at some points.
But if I had to make the pick, I will take Kansas City. I got no faith in Aiden O'Connell.
Drop the big number.
Yeah, the Raiders' 2 starting running backs are out.
Yeah.
They're a mess. Okay, next game, Seattle -2 versus the Jets in the Meadowlands. The total's 41.5.
I'm leaning Jets.
I'm taking Seattle.
Jets plus 2 it is, or 2.5?
2.
Okay. And I like the under on this as well.
I got the under, but I'm taking the Seahawks. It's a bad spot for them, but the Jets are a disaster as well. And there's a rumor that Rodgers might not play because he's banged up. He refuses to take MRIs and shit.
Well, then I kind of like the Jets a little bit more.
Do you even know who their backup is?
Is it Tyrod Taylor?
It is.
Okay.
And right now he might play better than Rodgers.
Yeah.
Okay. Houston -5 versus Jacksonville in Jacksonville, 43.5.
I like Houston. I like the over.
Houston is down at the bottom and covering spreads. They ain't been doing shit, but Jacksonville is actually 6-5 against the spread.
Okay.
I'm going with the Jacksonville and taking the points.
It is big points for a division game, but
Houston's trending down.
I think this is a good game for Houston to get right.
Okay, and I got the under 43.
I have the over 43. I have
43.5. Yep.
Okay.
Tennessee +5.5 versus Washington. The total's 44.5.
I have Tennessee.
Me too.
Again, I
think they can win that sumbitch outright.
I think they can. I'm a little worried about Washington having a rebound game, and
Washington's trending down.
Normally, I don't like a team who won their first one in a while, like Tennessee did, then going on the road as a dog.
Sure.
But I've always thought they were better, and Levis is doing better.
Yeah.
Despite some mistakes, so I'm going to go with them.
And they lost some heartbreakers. They're staying close to teams.
They did.
They're not getting blown out.
No, they're not, and their defense has been pretty stout.
Well, I foolishly bet them over their win total of 6.5.
Mm-hmm.
If they go 4-2, I win that bet.
Yeah.
And I think it's possible. I looked at their schedule.
It is. They're not a bad team. They got a first-year coach. Is that Callahan?
Canellis.
That's Carolina, I think.
Oh, yeah, you're right.
It's Callahan.
Oh, yeah.
And his dad was like a legendary offensive line coach.
And his dad's on the staff.
Yeah, his dad's on the staff, and
yeah,
they might be finally getting it together there.
I think they're going to be a better team next year for sure.
Yeah.
But, yeah, I'm taking 5.5 against Washington.
Yeah, I agree.
And I got the under.
I have the over, actually. I think there might be some
points.
Some points, yeah.
Okay. Arizona plus 3.5 versus Minnesota in Minneapolis. 45 is a number.
Taking the Vikings and taking the over. I think it's going to be a shootout. I think it should be a fun game to watch if you like offense.
I got Minnesota in the over too.
Okay.
Okay, we got Pittsburgh plus 3 versus Cincy in Cincinnati. 47 is the number.
So what it came down to, AFC North, I'm taking the points.
Me too.
Especially if Pittsburgh's getting them. I do. I
don't like the way Pittsburgh's looking.
I love the over, though.
I've got the under.
Okay.
I don't know what the weather's going to be like in Cincy, but these guys are just
concerned.
They're going to slug it out.
Okay.
Chargers minus 2.5 versus Atlanta in Atlanta. The number is 48.
I'm guessing you got the Chargers, so I'm taking the opposite here. The Falcons plus 2 at home.
I got the Chargers.
Off the bye week, and I love the over here.
Here's a funny thing, though, Dork. I was watching one of these betting cats a couple of weeks ago.
Yeah.
And he was touting, bet the Chargers at plus 350 not to make the playoffs. No, it was plus 480 not to make the playoffs.
Really?
I threw down.
Oh, interesting.
Based on the schedule and stuff.
Yeah.
Well, they lost last week. If they lose in Atlanta on the road, I don't even know why they're favored. That should be a pick 'em.
Yeah.
They're in trouble because their last 5 games are tough.
Yeah.
Anyway, but I'm taking them in this spot. I actually bet them and got them at 1.5 last week. Indy minus 3 versus New England in New England, 42.5.
I took New England in the points.
I'm taking Indy.
And I'm taking the over.
Because Indy is 8-4 against the spread, baby.
I saw that, yeah.
And I've been winning money on betting them. I didn't bet them last week, but more when I do bet them, I've been hitting. Okay, I got the under there. Tampa Bay minus 6 versus Carolina in Carolina. Should be no weather concerns. 46.5.
I'm taking Carolina in the points.
Excuse me, Dork.
I just see this as a close one.
I'm taking Tampa Bay and laying.
Okay, I could see that too.
And I'm going the under. Tampa Bay's been they're 7-4 against the spread. I'm going to keep riding them. They made me money last week.
Okay. I'm going to go over. I like a lot of overs this week and a lot of dogs.
I'm thinking as the weather starts changing and this game it isn't a factor that the numbers are going to come down.
Yeah.
Okay, we got the Rams minus 2.5 versus the Saints in New Orleans. Saints coming off a bye, 49.
Boy, this is one of those. I don't know why they even have these games. The Rams play Sunday night. They send them out back to New Orleans. New Orleans coming off a bye. It just seems everything is stacking up in New Orleans' favor,
That's what I'm seeing. Okay, so you're taking the Saints?
I'm taking the Saints, yeah.
Me too, and I got the over.
I took the over as well. I think there's going to be some points here.
Philly plus 3 versus Baltimore. The number's 50.5.
Okay, first of all, I have a confession to make. Last week, I fucked up.
How's that?
I should have taken Philly.
I did take Philly.
I was pulling against them. I mean, in the pool.
Oh.
I was kind of pulling against him, and I talked myself into the Rams, but I knew Philly was playing real well.
Yeah.
And is a serious threat to win it all.
Don't jump in front of a truck.
Yeah. So I'm going to take Philly in the points.
Me too.
I hate going against Baltimore because it usually ends badly when I do that.
Yeah.
But Philly is really playing well.
I don't really want to get in front of either one of these guys.
No, this is a stay away for me, and I'm taking the under because I think it might be a tough slug-it-out battle. I got the over, and I'm thinking even if Baltimore wins, they'll win by 3, and I get a push. Yep. That's what I'm thinking, too.
Actually, I think I got, I'll go over that here in a second. San Francisco +7 versus Buffalo in Buffalo. Buffalo coming off a bye, 44.5.
I'm taking the Niners.
I'm taking Buffalo.
Assuming Purdy plays, of course. We're doing this early in the week, but I think he will play, and I think the Niners are going to show up and win.
That's what everybody's been saying for the last couple weeks.
Oh, I know. Well, they better do it real quick, or we'll all be wrong.
Yeah, I'm taking Buffalo and the under in this game.
I like the under as well.
I can't bet on San Francisco, and if Purdy doesn't play, that number is going to 9.
If you're giving me 7 points, I'll take it.
Okay. Well, why don't you wait for the 9 and take Brandon Allen?
Well, we'll see. I might do that.
Cleveland +5.5 versus Denver in Denver. Numbers 42.
Give me the gutter snipe.
I'm taking the gutter snipe too. And the under.
I actually have the over.
I think there might be some weather in Denver.
Could be.
I haven't checked yet. Okay. You got anything else, Dorks?
Let me give you my 5 best. I'm 32-23 on the year now with my 5-0 week last week. So
nice.
We'll try and keep that going. Anyways,
you should be betting those best bets. You'd be making money.
Damn right I should. Maybe I'll do that this week.
I would.
New Orleans +2.5 against the Rams.
I like that.
Tennessee +5.5 at Washington.
Like it.
Dallas -3.5 versus Giants.
Stay away.
And 2 overs I like. Minnesota, Arizona over 45. Houston Jacks over 43.5.
Okay, cool. Here's what I've already bet. Like I say, last week I went 7-2 against the spread, baby.
Nice. Way to make some money, dude.
And last night I bet $5 on Herbert to have a rushing touchdown at +380. If I would have bet him to score that touchdown as the first touchdown, which it was, it was 22-1.
Damn, dude. Think.
Yeah, well, that's easy for you to say, Dork.
Hindsight is 20/20.
And I already bet a lot of money every week for me.
Yeah.
And so, I got to be careful and pick my spots. But 22-1, I threw that $5. I went 110.
Well, we both remember don't be afraid to pull the trigger on a long shot, though.
True.
Remember last week when we were talking, we said, if you're feeling lucky, throw down on Tennessee to win that game.
Yep.
So.
And they did.
They did.
Yeah.
As they were probably +400 or something close to
+300 anyway.
Yeah.
Okay.
Anyways, let's hear your bets.
Here's what I've already bet this week. I had bet Miami against Green Bay, but I cashed out based on Fez's recommendation. I'm taking Philly +3 versus Baltimore. I'm taking the Chargers versus Atlanta -1.5. Don't feel good about that, but I'm fading Atlanta from now on till they prove me otherwise. I got Denver -5.5 versus Cleveland.
Like it.
I got Tampa Bay -6 versus Carolina.
Don't like it.
And I got Pittsburgh on the money line +130 versus Cincy.
I like that as a money line bet. I think that's a good value.
Pittsburgh has to have this game or they'll spiral out of control.
Right, and Cincinnati has been losing must games the past couple of weeks.
They find ways to lose.
Yeah. So I kind of like that. I agree. It's a good spot for Pittsburgh. Thing is, Cincinnati is just a dangerous team. They're so talented.
Well, and since he's coming off a bye, Pittsburgh had a mini bye.
Yeah.
And so that's not really a big factor. Since he could blow them out, and I wouldn't be surprised.
Yeah. It's one of those things.
Anything else, Dorks, before we clear out here?
You know, this is a hell of a football week here. I'm just going to say, if you like college, it's rivalry week. You got Thanksgiving, 3 games. You got Friday
Raiders,
KC. You're going to have some weather. It's going to be a fun weekend. So enjoy the games as always.
Yep. And as far as fantasy goes, it's crunch time.
And in Baltimore and Philly, we got a real good matchup there. So
that could be a Super Bowl matchup.
Yes, that could be the Super Bowl. Buffalo, San Francisco might be fun too.
Right now, I'm projecting Philly and the Lions to be in the NFC Championship.
Yeah,
and it wouldn't surprise me if Philly won that game.
No, they are playing well now.
And if Detroit trips up and Philly gets home field, Katie barred the door. Jared Goff playing in Philadelphia in January.
Yeah, no,
ain't happening.
ain't gonna go well for Jared probably. But.
Yeah, and so that's why I like betting Detroit. They're keeping the pedal to the metal. They have to have that first round bye.
Yeah,
and number 1 seed, or they might be fucked.
Well, they do not want to play in Green Bay or Philadelphia or even
out of doors.
Even down in Tampa,
nope.
Should the Bucks they get a game again? You know,
they won't get it.
Well, no, they won't. They won't have to go there.
It's Philly. It's Philly or only as far as the number 1 seed. Green Bay, if they won out and Detroit stumbled and Philly lost a game or two, could maybe sneak in. Yeah. But right now it's between Detroit and Philly, number 1.
I agree. And how about the AFC? Is that Baltimore
and Buffalo? It's Buffalo.
It's KC.
KC and Buffalo have the best record right now.
Okay. That's going to be interesting too, though.
Yeah, well. Okay, well, hey, thanks for watching Fantasy Football with the Dork and the Dude. We will be, we're on a once a week gig. Enjoy Thanksgiving, enjoy the games, and we will see you next week, baby.
Next week.
And good luck with your gambling.
Good luck with the bets and the games and the fantasy.
I'm on a roll. I hope it continues.
You got it.
When you're on a roll, you keep rolling those bones. What Mama said. All right, Dork, good pod.
Good pod.